Good morning and welcome to episode 8 of Morning Coffee. See how I'm getting more animated as I relax into this and start to have more fun? But I knew that this would be a core piece, is enjoying a cup of coffee each morning with everyone. And, it's such a nice start to the morning. This is not a coffee, it's a latte, which I really enjoy. Yes, I have the feeling that one day I'm going to have to give up dairy, but for now, it's really wonderful. I don't know if there's a good substitute that really works, but I'll probably have to find it. And I guess that's the nature of life, change, right? Things that worked for a while and then don't work. So, back to our system of upgrades. I want to talk a little bit about some of the things I mentioned in our last episode. One is a little booklet. Turn the So this is about the size of an important component of the system, a mini journal. And you can get these everywhere. There's the moleskin ones, which I find are very expensive. This one, I really like this setup. I don't know if you can see it here, but it has the dots. I think that's came out of like a design for architects. Anyways, it's great for aligning things. It doesn't have those messy lines, but you can still line things up. I really like it. I made a mistake and used a gel pen on this one because this one's designed to be able to get wet and it doesn't get destroyed. So it kind of got a little bit readable. So I learned a lesson. You have to use the right kind of pen. Gel pens are maybe not the best. But the other side of this is, the idea is this is what you carry with you at all times. So that if you don't have your journal with you, the one that's sort of the slightly larger sized one, then you at least always have some. And I find that is very important to have that consistency, where I'm trying to find the right word. It's kind of foundational. Your journal is foundational to this system, and to have access to it literally 24/7 is very important. You don't want to suddenly have an important insight or need something or need a reminder and can't find and don't have access to your journal. So this is what gives you that full coverage, is the mini journal backing up the full size journal. Then what I do, so I don't ever forget the mini journal, is I have it with my wallet and generally my phone. And I'm not sure what guys do when they only have a wallet. I mean, you end up sitting on it all the time. It's super uncomfortable. I bailed on that idea of always having a wallet in my back pocket. I'm not sure what men are doing these days, where they're carrying a cell phone and a wallet, and is that all they've got? What about keys, etc., etc.? Anyways, I had to go to carrying a little bag that I can put on my that just has a little belt, and in it I have my wallet, I've got a pen, it's got another little zipper inside, and I can put in mini journal, and that is working reasonably well for me. I mean, it doesn't mean I have to carry that little pouch with me everywhere. When I'm driving, I just throw it on the seat beside me, but it's great. I don't lose track of that. It's got my wallet in. It's got very important things, so I'm not going to lose that. What else do I want to say about that? Okay, you know what? I'm going to talk about two. I feel like there was something else I wanted to share. I really should bring some notes to this discussion. Anyways, that setup is working for me. Now, today I want to cover two other components of the upgrade system. I want to go over A for affirmation and E for energy. So affirmation is super important because it's really easy to underestimate the power of affirmation. But the bottom line, if you look at any manifestation or goal achievement system or books on the subject, anything that's worthwhile, there's always recognition that there's a subconscious mind as well as a conscious mind. And that subconscious mind has a lot of influence. It's kind of like an iceberg, it's like it's the part that's under the water. It's significant. It needs to be considered. Just ask the people of the Titanic, right? So that side needs to be reprogrammed. I mean, it does get programmed through our beliefs and our ideas, through our upbringing, through our society, through all the norms that are our belief systems that we grew up with. And a lot of those beliefs and ideas are going to be incorrect. We have been schooled by people that did not necessarily have always the healthiest mental and emotional outlook to life. And so there's a point, and this is a wonderful opportunity, where we get to reprogram ourselves and we get to insert the deeper beliefs within ourselves that we are in agreement with. Not that our parents gave us, not that our teachers gave us, not that our society gave us, not that our religious education gave us. And as well, everybody carries a certain amount of trauma. And so in those traumatic moments, things do get through into the subconscious. That is how it works. It's designed to protect us. So the idea is when something, scary or dangerous happens to us, that subconscious opens, the program occurs, and, when we slipped and fell in the water and almost drowned when we were 6, we were like, water is dangerous. It's like, okay, great, except that now you're almost phobic of water, and so that has to be, water is not dangerous. It could be super fun. You just need to be careful, and you need to learn how to swim, right? So there's a reprogramming that is necessary, and there's numerous ways to do that. Affirmations is one. It's very simple. And it should not be underestimated. The value of it should not be underappreciated. It can really shift and change things in our lives. I've had that experience myself. I remember when I was working with this one person, and he just got me. This is the first time I ever did an affirmation in my life. He said, just say your name. I fill in your name, love myself. And I said I couldn't hardly say that. I thought it seemed very funny. I was laughing. It was kind of difficult. It sounded stupid. It sounded ridiculous. It's like, well, why it sounded ridiculous? Because I was having problems at that time in my life with loving myself. So now it's easy. So affirmations. Now, a lot of times people will use different affirmation every day. I'm not sure if that's the way to go. I personally think you should choose an affirmation and maybe stick with it for a week. Number one, it's easier to remember. So, one of the simplest ones is just to tell yourself, I've got this, I can do it, I will do it. Whatever it is you're working on, whatever it is that's a little bit intimidating for you, to tell yourself you got it, I can do this, I will get this done, I will do it, I am doing it. And this is one of the key ways of putting an affirmation into a form that your subconscious mind can understand. Number one, it always has to be positive. You cannot use the word not or no or any negative, like I won't lose my wallet. Nope, that's not going to work. What the subconscious hears is I will lose my wallet because it doesn't know negative. So, and the other piece is to always put it in a present mode. So, I will, nope, it's like I am. I am keeping track of my wallet. That's kind of not, that would work. It's maybe not the greatest, but you have to find an affirmation in the present tense, positive, and something that you can kind of get behind, like you can believe. I don't know, somehow, like, I got this, for me, it is a very powerful affirmation. I've got this. I can do it. Because that's the part I struggle with, is this little part within myself, little part that sometimes even jobs that aren't that frightening, for some reason, there's just enough fear that makes it uncomfortable. So I have to find a way to address that, because it can lead to procrastination otherwise. So the way that I address it is to, use my upgrade system, know what I need to do, and when I find myself not doing it, I have to, that's a great time to use an affirmation. The other letter that we are going to look at today is E for energy. Energy is really about addressing a tendency for us to go into a slightly lethargic state when there's things to get done. And it's just like, it's like a little kid. It's like, go clean your room. It's like, oh, mom, dad, I don't know, I want to go outside. And it's like that little part of us that wants to escape responsibility. And just there's a sense of, we're always looking to move in a direction of comfort. Again, that's part of the subconscious programming, and it's a safety thing. It's a design we're hardwired with. It's danger avoidance. So we have to be able to direct ourselves and calm down that subconscious mind, and sometimes speak to it, whether through affirmations is a great method, but to get ourselves into a slightly more energized state. And I'm going to say the primary thing that works so well for people who procrastinate is we have a tendency to be overwhelmed by the project. It could be something as simple as dishes. It's like, oh, there are 2 days worth of dishes, and there's about 20,000 things I'd rather do than deal with them. And I remember that one that, the stuff's baked on for a week and it's sitting off to the one side, that awful pan. I'm out of here. No, it's like the energized approach. The way to energize ourselves is to break down the task into a very non-intimidating piece. So the one I use a lot is, I'm just going to go and take a look at it. I'm just going to go and take a look at the sink and see what I'm dealing with. And then I go and I take a look. And, if I still want to run away, I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to take the dishes out of the sink. I'm just going to put them off to one side. And you can continue to use that method. I'm just going to this. And the next thing you know, you're in it and you're doing the dishes. And, it's like, okay, well, dishes, it's just really not that hard. But, it can be used for any project, no matter how intimidating, because there's always a tiny step. And one of my favorite tiny steps is, I'm just going to go and look at it. It's like, oh my God, I got to clean the garage out. It's freaking, it hasn't been cleaned out 3 years. It's where we put all our crap. You know what? I've got it down on my thing that I'm going to start cleaning it up. I'm just going to go and take a look at it. That's it. I'm just going to assess. And then you go and you assess and you move this and you move that, and next thing you know, you're doing it. So the other part of energy is a chance to evaluate where you're at, and it includes emotional, mental side as well. So there's times where you have to look at yourself and you've got tasks to do, but you're struggling. And you need to ask yourself, well, what's going on with me? Am I hungry? Am I exhausted? Do I need a nap? Do I need to get a snack? Do I need to rest? Do I need to, what do I need to do to take care of myself so that I can bring my energy level up one step? And then I'm going to share with you, maybe this is a little bit out of order here because it's a little bit of an emergency situation. It's sort of for crisis. Crisis, in my opinion, is when you go 2 days without dealing with if you're using the upgrade system, it's 2 days of not using it. So the questions you ask, and I'm putting this under the energy, the E for energy letter. The questions you ask yourself are, how am I feeling? What is causing me to feel this way? What are some possible solutions? What part of upgrades can I implement despite my challenges? And lastly, do I need to ask for help? And if yes, who can I ask? So, and help may be different. There may be different forms of getting help, but this is your fallback when things are, you're in the initial stage of letting things slide, and you're catching yourself before they slide very far. And sometimes it is a simple matter of asking for some help. Maybe it's like, maybe you just need to speak to somebody. Maybe you need to, ask your buddy, can you come over and give me a hand with my garage? I can't lug out the 500-pound rowing machine that's sitting in the back behind all the junk. I just need, whatever, right? And now you got somebody, a little bit of support. Now, don't go out for beers. That's not the idea. It's get the garage done, right? So that's affirmation and energy, the A and the E. It's also having your mini journal with you. It's having a way of transporting your mini journal. If you don't want to carry a little a pouch with you, man bag, whatever you want to call that thing, if you're a guy, I mean, obviously women, you've got your purses, that's cool. You can find a mini journal that you can put in a back pocket and doesn't have a plastic covering on it, so it's a little more comfortable. You can get like a little leather or something that breathes somehow. I don't really need that, but it is, you can find something small enough to slip into a back pocket. Now you have to figure out where you're going to put your pen, right? But anyways, you need to have that backup. The other backup I would recommend is once you have I was showing you a to-do list and schedule, and what you want to do is take a photo with your phone so that you can refer to it if your mini journal does not have that information in it. It's for journaling. It's for whatever you need it for, a pen and a paper. But your larger journal, you need to have access to that schedule and your to-do list at all times. So taking a photo of it, super simple, super quick, and it allows you to access that when you're at the grocery store and you're like, okay, what was on my to-do list? What am I supposed to pick up here? So that's the A and the E component. It's a little bit of a crisis management system built in under E for energy, with those questions when you're stuck, when you haven't done your system, you haven't been using your system for 2 days, boom, get on it. It's like you never want to let 3 days go by where you're not taking care of things, because then you're sliding into something else, right? You're going backwards. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time for morning coffee, and have a great day.